This is the plaintiff, Donna McCall. She says the defendant's dog breached her electric fence, entered her yard, and viciously attacked her dog Jake, injuring his back, leg, and anus. The defendant is a big bully who refuses to even discuss the matter with her. She has $1,430.64 in vet bills, and she's suing. This is the defendant, Thomas Purney, Sr. He says the plaintiff is known as a nuisance in the neighborhood, and this is just one more example of her being a pain in the neck. Bottom line, her dog was unchained on the unfenced-in property, and his dog and her dog did what dogs do. They got into a scuffle. He's not budging on his position of not paying. The plaintiff is barking up the wrong tree, and he anxiously awaits his chance to present his defense to the judge. He's accused of taking no responsibility.
All parties, please use your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff says the defendant's dog viciously attacked her dog behind an electric fence. But the defendant says her dog was unchained and the area was unfenced. It's the case of dog eat dog.
Thank you, Douglas. Donna McCall.
Yes, Your Honor.
You are suing Thomas Purney Sr.
Yes.
For $1,430.64, the amount of the vet bill?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, because according to you, his dog attacked your dog.
Yes.
Tell me what happened.
It was the night before New Year's Eve, December 30th, and my dog was outside in our yard, and his dog came out and came over to our side.
Do you have a fence around your yard?
No.
Do you have an electric fence for the dog?
Yes.
Okay, how many dogs do you have?
3.
And the dog that's in question, what's the name of that dog?
Jake.
Jake. What kind of dog?
An Italian Greyhound.
Okay, so...
excuse me, Italian Greyhound Chihuahua.
Italian Greyhound Chihuahua?
Yes.
I went from Greyhound to Chihuahua.
No, Italian Greyhound Chihuahua.
Okay, so what, are you out there when it happens?
No, my fiance was. Okay,
is your fiance here?
No.
Okay, and so what happened according to someone who's not in court?
The dog was on we have a side deck, and it was going into the house. He's very little and he's cold all the time, and he was following my boyfriend into the house, and Tom's dog came across the street onto my side, onto our yard, and he has a German Shepherd mix, and it attacked my dog.
You took the dog to the vet, I take it.
Yes.
What was it that the vet had to do?
They had to do surgery.
What kind of surgery?
They had
to drain it and everything?
To clean the wounds and to sew it back up, and it was also on his rear end, and where he moves his bowels, and they had to sew that area up.
Okay. All right. So did you ever have a conversation with the defendant and tell him, listen, this happened? And
I wrote him a note and put it in his mailbox, and then he was leaving one afternoon, and I waited outside in my driveway, and I asked him if we could talk, and he said he wasn't going to talk, and then he jumped out of his truck, and he said that I was going to do the right thing, and he was in my the end of my driveway.
You were going to do the right thing about what?
I don't know. I guess I'm going to pay it.
Did he say?
No.
Did he say what the right thing was?
No.
Okay.
But he was very violent that day.
How was he violent?
He jumped out of his truck, and he's much bigger than I am, and he was like coming at me.
Wait, you just went like this?
No, coming at me. No,
coming at you meaning what?
Coming at me.
No, that's a conclusion. I want facts. Coming at you how?
He just jumped out of his, when he jumped out of his truck, he was in the driver's seat, and he came out into my driveway, and he was hollering at me, and he told me I was going to do the right thing.
And did he tell you what the right thing was?
No.
No. All right, what's going on?
There's no electric fence. The dogs run free. They're in other neighbors' driveways.
Did your dog get out?
Yes.
Did your dog
2 days prior to that, I had dislocated my shoulder. I was trying to put the leash on her. She got loose when she heard the dog out in the street, not in the yard. She got away from me. I went running after her. Her fiance was in the driveway on the opposite side of the house. None of her dogs are chained up. I've got 4 pictures.
I need to talk to you about what happened that day.
That day, that's what happened.
Well, what happened? Your dog then did what?
Went after hers.
And did the attack occur on her property?
It ended on her property, yes.
Okay. Well, did it start on her property too?
In the street.
Well, by start, I mean the first bite.
In the street.
Where in the street?
Right between our properties. She lives directly across the street from me.
And then what happened? Her dog tried to run away and your dog chased it?
Yeah.
So if both dogs are off the leash and one dog gets hurt, does the owner or the other dog have to pay the vet?
No.
Why?
Because they both should have both been on the leash and in the yard.
So if they're not on the leash, it doesn't matter. They're on their own.
Yeah, pretty much. You're supposed to have your dog tied up at all times.
Fair enough. That's a good point going inside the courtroom.
All right, so tell me about the confrontation that she talked about.
She had threatened to have my dog killed. And that's when I got out of the truck.
Did anybody ever say to you, listen, your dog cost us $1,400 and we want you to pay this bill?
She taped a copy of the bill to my door.
Okay. And why do you feel that you're not responsible?
Had somebody been watching over the dog, it's a little tiny Chihuahua. They could have picked it up. It would have ended.
Right, but your dog attacked the dog on their property. You say that they don't have an electric fence. I don't, you know, do you have any proof of the electric fence, like the receipt for it or something like that?
No.
All right, but there's no dispute that an attack happens on their property and that your dog is chasing her dog. Tell me why you feel that you are not responsible. Because if your dog hadn't gotten loose, it also wouldn't have happened, right?
Your Honor,
and it was your dog.
Exactly.
The dog. We don't punish the dogs themselves.
No.
The dog. Well, I mean, I don't. The dogs are acting exactly like they're supposed to. They're animals. Right. That's what they do. That's why the law requires you guys to exercise human, sapient judgment, where you're thinking through things. You see. So tell me why you wouldn't be responsible.
I don't believe I'm fully responsible.
Because you think that the boyfriend should have been able to scoop up the dog before your dog did damage to it? That's a really weak defense. Were you there?
If the dog had been on a leash.
On their property?
It wasn't on their property when it started. And it wasn't on their property a week prior when it was in my driveway.
I'm going to read to you your answer to the complaint. My German Shepherd hates the plaintiff's dogs because for the first 6 months of her life, they bothered her constantly. She's not a vicious dog. It's only a grudge she has with them. And on December 30th, 2 days after I dislocated my shoulder, I was trying to leash my dog up, but she got away from me, ran onto the plaintiff's property, and got into a fight with her dog, who was sitting unchained on the unfenced property and not being minded by anyone. You tell me where in there you ever say, oh, the attack, not that it would make a difference, I'm just curious, when the attack started in the street because her dog was in the street thing came up, because it's not in your answer to the complaint.
I understand.
Okay. All right, so you have introduced pictures into evidence. What are the pictures of?
Dogs that are not being watched over.
Okay.
They're just loose.
All right, so this dog is which dog?
That's Dee Dee, the Shih Tzu.
And that's your dog?
Yes.
Okay, and where is this picture taken?
On the side of my house.
Is that within the purported...
Where that window is, there's a deck.
You're the girlfriend?
Yes.
Have you ever, do you have any knowledge of an electric gate?
Yes. My dog actually has a collar for it that he wears when he's outside as well.
Oh, there you go. Is this dog wearing the collar that we're talking about?
No.
Then why is the dog out there loose?
Her fiance was outside with her on the deck watching her.
You can't stop him in time to make sure nothing happens. Not that you have to on your own property. I'm just telling you,
well,
it's kind of unwise. I don't know why people get so careless.
No, we're going to get
What is this a picture of?
My black lab outside playing, because I was outside with him playing.
Is your dog wearing? I can barely see that, but is your dog wearing the collar there?
Not the collar.
I think he's wearing his harness.
What do you mean by a harness? The
harness that goes completely around him.
Right, wearing the harness, but is anybody holding on to it?
No.
No, but I'm outside with him. I was
but again,
on the other side right there.
Yeah, this isn't the smartest stuff, and I think that's partially why he thinks it's unfair. Your dogs roam around, but you have the misfortune of being the dog that bit. You're the owner of the dog that bit. It's just how it goes.
I also have an email that somebody emailed Thomas Perney, and it says, oh my God, let her run loose on the beach. And Thomas writes, Val, I tried walking her by her collar, had to return to the room and get her lead. She already got one seagull, and she's tried charging every person that comes near me.
Did you put that in writing?
I don't know what it is.
It's your email, it's your Facebook.
Let me tell you, that's like the goofiest thing you've ever done, because if your dog bites anybody,
You're welcome.
This is the evidence that you
She's
know
a
that
bird dog.
She harms anything that's little.
She's tried charging every person that comes near me.
On a leash. I got her on a leash.
You say, I'm afraid she'll hurt someone.
I don't want her to.
I know, I understand. I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, you are way on notice that your dog
when I put her
listen
on a
to me,
lead.
you are way on notice that your dog can't get away from you. So if you've had shoulder surgery or you hurt your shoulder, then there's somebody else who needs to put her on a leash, or she doesn't get walked that day, okay? Because that's like, you know, This is public stuff. Why do people do this? Public stuff that's forever etched. I say it to my children all the time. Say it, forget it, write it, regret it. Okay, I'm ruling in favor of the plaintiff in this case in the amount of the $1,430.64. Good luck,
Thank you, Your
folks.
Honor.
So the plaintiff gets what she is seeking here for the vet bill. Mr. Perney, I can't believe, didn't you think this is kind of what was going to happen when you came to court today?
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, why didn't you offer to pay the vet bill? The whole thing?
I believe I'm fully responsible.
Why not?
She could also be out there with her dog.
Yeah, but your dog attacked her dog.
Yeah. Yeah.
The judge says you're wrong. Totally wrong.
And the judge is?
Dumb decision on your part.
The final word.
The judge is, and I assume you learned a lesson.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully you can keep holding your dog, you know? A lot of dog lovers here, and I'm one of them, but I understand. So, you're on the hook. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
You're guilty. That's what the judge says. Ms. McCall, sorry I had to go through this. How is your dog?
Better.
Better. Mm-hmm. Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Harvey?
I got to tell you, if you got a dog in the neighborhood that's vicious and running around, call animal control. They can really do something.